the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Stoned Appetit. I do apologize, but because of the old holiday, we got our schedule shifted, and instead of doing 2 episodes, we're just going to throw y'all this big, heavy hitter part. It was going to be a 2-parter, but we wanted to give it all to y'all. So we have a great episode with the ladies behind Lady Justice Brewery joining us for a extra extended edition with hysterical hypotheticals and questions, movie quotes, as well as the industry knowledge in the brewery world and just living in Denver, and a lot of Americorp talk.
A lot of Americorp talk. But honestly, I don't even know why it went so long. We were just having a good time chatting.
Yeah, and I don't think we had to edit much out. A couple things here and there, but besides that, it's great, and it's on the back end of this. But before we get started, we want to give a shout-out, like we always do, to our sponsors. Without none of this would be possible. First off, our friends over at Seed Smith. We've been giving them all the praise, and rightfully so, because y'all know we've been hitting this dart pin left and right ever since they opened up their new location, and we can't get enough of them. Obviously, with location, you can buy their products across the city. They're peppered across Rhino, Denver, and the burbs, but they are well known for their location out on Oakland Street, and now they have a brand new dispensary up in Louisville. So for our friends that are listening in the burbs, for our friends in Boulder, all of the locations north, really, this is a place you've got to check out. It's like the Apple Store of marijuana dispensaries. It's clean-cut service. You can walk through. You can buy whatever you want. You can peruse and just look around. It's nice. It's a spot to be seen, in fact, a little bit as well. There's nothing they don't have. They have everything for you, from edibles to wax to drinks and in-house grown flowers. So they've got you covered. Go check out our friends over at Seed Smith. If you need them, find them at Seed and Smith on Instagram and Twitter, as well as seedandsmith.com for locations across the metro area. And also our friends over at, say it, Chris.
Calis.
Calis! Yeah, we love them. They're right down the street for us, so that's our regular spot to hit up. They have great rewards programs, discount deals of the day. As you're listening to this, it's Wednesday, which means it's Wax Wednesday. If you're listening to this Thursday, as it is Vape Thursday, and Friday's Flower Friday. They have something for everybody. No matter what your buzz is, they've got you covered. So go check out our friends over at Calis Cannabis. They have 3 locations across the metro. Locations at 8th and Kenosha Court, 31st and Larimer, and then one up in North Glen as well. So shout out to those guys. All right, Chris, before we get into the great episode with the ladies from Lady Justice, we have a couple things we need to cover. It was a long weekend. I went camping. I have a great new spot. Georgetown's a fun little fucking town. But I want to get a quick recap. How was Fish? You obviously did the Fish run this weekend. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I only went to one night this time around, but it was a fun one night, and it was good to hang out with friends near and far. People coming in for the event this weekend. But yeah, we had a good time. Everybody made it out alive.
Yeah, and I think everyone heard on Thursday we were doing that giveaway. But the weird thing was, like, tickets were going on StubHub, months ago. Everybody wanted them, and then last week the bottom of the market just fell out of them. And then by the time you get to the show, they're fucking giving them away. They're like $4 for a ticket. So, I mean, everyone that wanted to get in was able to get in this weekend, and it looks like a bitching good time.
Yeah, and we raised some good money for...
Yeah, we did, for the Greater Texas Planned Parenthood. So shout out to all those that donated, and I hope those that won tickets or got tickets were able to enjoy themselves. So shout out to those people. Yeah. All right. So, Chris, the next thing on the segment is NFL football is back. And while I'm going to be out of town this weekend, hence the random week scheduling and things of that nature, this is a predominantly a football community, and so everybody on Sundays, it doesn't necessarily shut down, but everyone turns their attention to the television. So for those that are listening this week, we're going to give y'all a little bit of insight into the Denver community in regards to places you would want to grab food from, some places you want to grab for, trying to grab a table early, a place you would have to get a table early. So our high five this week is going to be a particular one, but it's going to be for game day style vibe and food. So we're big college football folks, but we know the city is NFL, and we fucking love NFL as well. So there's nothing we won't cover. And then, of course, we love every bit of, I feel like the tailgate food and the stoner foods, they're like one and the same.
Yeah, exactly. In a diagram, they would be joining.
Yeah, exactly. They would be on the exact same path. It's the things that you want to eat gluttonous amounts of, but also like there's nothing healthy about it. It's not like anyone's like, oh, who's got the lettuce cups?
Yeah. And plus, stoner foods and tailgate foods, they're easy eats. You pick them up with your hand, do things like that. It doesn't require a whole lot of showmanship.
Which is a good way for us to vibe into the high five. So we have one for every finger. We're going to need 5 different locations or styles from you today, Chris. And I'll let you start because we'll go snake draft, but our high five of the night that will showcase local cuisine in the Denver area. Give me your first one you got.
Are we talking like we want to pick up food and go over to a buddy's house?
Yeah, we'll do takeout first. What's your takeout location for food?
Well, I mean, shocker, I'm going with wings, but we've done this several times, and we got to give a shout-out to Fire on the Mountain. I mean, because, like, you can place large orders. They've had them ready on time when we get there, and you can get a big-ass fucking thing of peanut sauce.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you trying to take that 1A, but it's not 1A for takeout food because while the wings are small, the spicy peanut sauce is exceptional, but takeout and chicken wings aren't exactly the best of friends. So, like, I don't hate the position for even a dine-in location, but that would not be my 1A for takeout. I love the location. Both Washpart and the Highlands have great chicken wings, excellent spicy peanut sauce, and the tots are delicious as well. I feel like the boneless could do a little work. They're kind of those flatter ones. They're like Cisco product. But I like how they do the humanely sourced chicken wings. But I just don't think that they're my to-go choice option.
Well, that's why we have 2 of us.
Yeah, and then so this is my rebuttal. I feel like when you look for something that's takeout, you're ordering for a large swath of folks. So you have like 8 to 10 people. If the food has to sit there and wait on you to get there to pick up, that's understandable, but it also has to be durable through transit. And so while deep fried items are delicious for game days, they're mainly needed to be eaten not out of a styrofoam box. And so for my takeout option, I'm going with smoke barbecue. We've done this for our Super Bowl before. The pork belly does really well when it hangs out in that sauce. The meat and the integrity of it doesn't really lose its luster by being in the takeout fashion. And the sides all come in the styrofoam cups with those really tight plastic tops. And they smack those things full, Chris. So while fried okra doesn't necessarily play the best in the takeout genre, the collard greens, the beans, things like that, really, that's where I go for my takeout game day especial. That's where I'm going.
Not bad. I mean, barbecue's great for a crowd, so
yeah,
you win that one. But if you're hanging out with the boys or just a few of you, wings.
Yeah, and I have a wing spot that I'll keep in my repertoire for later in my quiver. But my next one, Chris, I think you're going to like this one. This one, they've also got a good chicken wing, but I'm going for their cheese stick and a little bit of the vibe. And I'm going to Rome's Sports Bar down off of Alameda and like South Platte. It's kind of in the industrial overland area. The waitresses are dressed scantily clad. They actually open at 7 a.m. for the breakfast crew because it's kind of in an industrial area. So if it's World Cup season, which it will be, Qatar 2022, think about this. You can parlay it soccer, or if you want to go EPL, whatever it may be, into football. Rome's is a spot that is open very early. Delicious cheese sticks, chicken wings, large scene over there. Big scene. Real big scene, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Big scene. And so Rome's is my number 2 spot on the list.
Those are some nice Hooters you got there.
Yes, but this is a local restaurant, Chris. Give me your, what's your sleeper little spot that some folks may not know of? You got a spot that oftentimes not populated?
I don't know.
It's fucking popular. It's just
a sleeper spot. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on the name right now, and it may not be that much of a sleeper, but we had a hell of a time there watching World Cup and all those games.
Choppers.
Okay, that's well known. So
the
that
Cherry Creek scene.
Yes,
that's a pretty good vibe though over there. It's a sports bar for sure, and they got you for football as well. Solid dive bar food. And then they have the patio on the right side as well as on the left, so you can go out there if you need a puff tough or anything along those lines. And it's kind of more classico bar vibe than your Cherry Creek vibe would put off. It's kind of tucked back there off First and
yeah. And
whatever.
they've got great TVs. Like if you're trying to catch a bunch of games or that first morning wave of NFL, that's a great spot to go, and it's usually packed.
You're not wrong. And it is, yeah, so it's definitely get there early. And it's not just a football bar. It's also, like you were saying, a World Cup and a soccer bar. So I like that call. That's a good spot. Who do you have next on your list of 5 places, high 5 places you would go to watch a game in Denver or get food from for a game?
Okay. You know, I mean, one of the spots we tend to hit up sometimes for game days because, like, they do have good food. Is Park Burger in Rhino. And, you know, from there, like, depending on if we're just trying to catch, like, one game or something like that, you're right there to get in to the Rhino party scene.
Yeah, okay, so that one was on my list because I do like that place because it was prior to Federale's shitty little bar opening up in Rhino. That was the only place that had a television in the Rhino neighborhood. So that was a very good call. That was on my short list because it's also for my patio sesh. So when you go patios, they have that big-ass screen on the outside and then the TV's facing with the garage doors. It's very amicable for multiple game watching. But the problem is it is a Georgia bar. So if we have some Georgia fans listening, this is your spot. But if you're not, don't go in there on a fucking Saturday because they'll be sucking dog dick in there. It's like softcore porn or anime. I don't know what it is. It's gross, Chris.
Georgia fans.
Yeah, it's Georgia fans. But at the same time, that's a good call because that is, you know, Rhino being just right down the street. That's usually our stomping grounds. That's our sports bar. I like it. But, you know, I'm going to keep the neighborhoods keep everybody kind of on their toes. You know, we've talked highly of the patio at Park Burger. I'm going to give you another patio that's a vibe. The Historian Bar. Yeah,
nice.
That down on Broadway, badass little rooftop. They've got very interestingly set up seating, like so you can have groups of 8 or 10, but also groups of 2 and 4 are able to kind of hang out on their own. Great TV setup outside with the 2 gazebo setup, and as well as behind the bar top. And then downstairs they have a huge setup of television. So Historian is a neighborhood. You know, we talk here and there about Broadway. This is my vibe on Broadway. Historian, it's got good foot traffic. They've got televisions for you. They'll give you volume. And everybody is in there for the right reasons. You know, as we watch something like Bachelor in Paradise, sometimes you see people like Piper and Brendan who aren't here for the right reasons. If you're at Historians, you're here for the right reasons.
And their drinks are usually cheap, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I leave there spending way less money than I thought I would. And I've had some fun times there. It's a good one.
Yeah, and like I was saying with the foot traffic right there, it's a really good spot. All right, Chris, so that was my number 3, but I think this is the number 1 overall sports bar in Denver, in my opinion, and that's going to be Stoney's. Stoney's on Lincoln. It's just everything you can need. It's a bar for 9 different fucking colleges and pro teams. It's the official bar for like 92% of fandom for Denver's.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're not a fan of Denver teams, there's a good chance Stoney's is your bar, you know, because they host everything from Kansas and Kentucky basketball to like fucking